So I'm just coming out of Rabacal this morning. Got a little bit earlier start. Still not that early because I got in kind of late. I needed to sleep. But it's a lovely area. It's a good walk. Sadly, it's Sunday, so the Roman Museum. There's a museum of Roman history because there are a number of archaeological sites around here. Because it's Sunday, that was closed. And there's another site up here where there are some perfectly preserved mosaic floors from a Roman villa, I believe. It's up over here, the Roman villa. It's Sunday. I'm not going to go up there because I don't want to go all the way up there and not get in. But I'm passing another archaeological site near Coimbra, I think it's the name of it. Which I'm going to hopefully be able to get into. I think it's just open, but we'll see. So, got a nice day ahead. It's a good day for walking, not too sunny. So, these are the ruins. This is actually the Forum building up here. It's a rather big edifice. Zoom out a little bit. The Forum, what's left of it. I guess a lot of this was demolished. There's a very large imperial wall they got put in. But you can see that the mosaics are intact over a lot of this, which is pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing stuff, and it's beautiful. Over here. A lot of detail. It's amazing stuff. It's beautiful. The detail. Whew. You can see, they tiled this whole area around this spot. So this was the home of a wealthy family. 1st century AD. The mosaics were put in around the 3rd century AD. And then soon after the house was demolished in order to construct the late imperial wall. There's a large wall put in through here, partly to protect the city as the empire started to fall apart. And you see the swastika, which was commonly used in that area, still is used today in India, stuff like that. It has a totally different connotation than what the Germans put into it. But these are really remarkable mosaics. And to think that, within 100 years, this house was just torn down so they could build a wall. But this is all one house here. This area right around here. This is, I guess, the central area of the garden. Would have been right there. The atrium, as it were. And this, I think, was a bathhouse. That's my guess. This was some kind of bathhouse. Yeah. The bath. Yep. That's right. Ooh. And so, because there's all of this sort of under subterranean building where they would have steam and hot water. They'd heat the water and it would come through here. This is a small bath, so it might have been for the rich family next door. So I'm kind of on the back of the site here, and you can see it came in this way. The Caminho comes in this way. This is where that big wall is, big imperial wall. But it's quite a big site. I mean, that's a lot here, and it doesn't even look like they've really excavated all of it. Looks like they did a section there, and another section over here. Very remarkable. Huge. An interesting detail is you can see that this appears to be like a covered sewage, or probably wastewater, or some aqueduct. Let's see, it's up above here, like a trench going sort of under the buildings. You can see it's like comes along here, goes down under that. Pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. What I was pointing to, the water, what appeared to be outflow or sewage, this was a giant public bath in this area. And the problem, I guess, that they had with identifying it is that it was one public bath built on top of another public bath. So. Obviously they rebuilt, but this is the cold water bath here. They've built it up. So you can imagine the Romans climbing out of this, dripping wet, putting that down. Pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I mean, some of the stuff is just wild. The Great Southern Baths. These were the Great Southern Baths. It's a rather well-worn pillar. They have reconstructed. This was the forum here. They have a couple examples of columns to give people an idea of what this must have looked like. Because, you know, everything's pretty flat right now. Facing a little bit of disrepair. Who's going to come around and spiffy this place up a little bit? You can see the bases here. Been a long, long time. So this is the house of the fountain, and these folks turned the fountain on. So this has been reconstructed, I think. A great deal, obviously, the plumbing I don't think works. So somebody's been around here. This is sprucing the place up a bit. Bringing it back up to speed. Some really great mosaics in here. Trying to zoom in. I don't know how many of these are original. This would have been either a temple, a public place, probably where the young, pretty girls lived, you know, when they were teenagers, maybe before they got married, or where the children lived. Or rich family, or the nobility or something. Really cool though. Really cool. So I came back around. This is the Imperial Wall, which was built after power started to wax and kind of waned a bit. It's also worth noting that this Roman city was built on another Celtiberian city that was here before. Just these really, really neat looking mosaics. This, I believe, is Hermes. I believe it's Hermes. And I don't know all the symbology. I don't know if that's Hermes. I don't know who it is. So where I just was up over here. And I believe this continuation down here is part of this city wall, or town wall that they had put up in the late. I could be totally talking on my rear end, but I think it is. This wall, you can kind of see it here a little better. Yeah, this wall that goes like all along here. I imagine this must have been defensive stuff for the. Well, having made it out of Coimbra, it's really overcast. I'm getting some raindrops, so I'm gonna stop here and just have a sip of water, get you a drink. Man, what a beautiful little stream! And this little area, this little covered area, where people must have come to do like like laundry and stuff, or gather water. Probably also talk. A little newer, not an old bridge, but this is like a little. Of course, I've got a dog. The dog's not here. But this is definitely nice, clean water. Through here. Pretty neat. Could probably do my laundry if I felt like it. So at Coimbra we saw the. I'm using the plural, the monarchical or royal we. You, the viewer, and myself saw the bathhouses and the irrigation. You can see here, all up through these towns. And there's another dog to accompany me. It's a lot of irrigation. Really well developed system moving water all throughout this area, which probably is harkens back to the Roman era. You know, the system is obviously, it's very old, but people who first brought it to this area were, you know, obviously the Romans. And you can see, like, it's really sophisticated. And that's a lot of the houses, the older looking houses have these sorts of viaducts running under them. And these are definitely not natural streams. This is all artificial. Fascinating stuff. Really cool. Well, the weather held, and I'm now about maybe 6 miles out of Coimbra. No, I think it's more like 7 or 8 on this dirt track. So I cut through to another road, then there's a climb, then I come down to Coimbra, and it's about 4 o'clock now, so as usual, I'm late, but, well, tomorrow's a short day. Shouldn't be that long of a day, so I'm going to try to get out of Coimbra early and get in early, go to bed really early, because, you know, even last night I got into Rabacal like 7:30. I didn't get into the hostel because I had to call someone to get into the hostel. I didn't get in there until like 8:20. It took an hour, and then I cooked dinner, and then didn't get to bed until like 10. And I really need to be getting to bed like at 7 or 8 to get up when I want to get up. And, you know, if I hadn't have spent like 2 hours at the ruins, or an hour and a half, 2 hours at the ruins, I'd probably be in Coimbra by now. But I'm really glad I stopped there. It's definitely a spot to check out the ruins in Coimbra. I mean, Coimbra. So this, I believe, is the Alto Santa Clara, and this is Coimbra down here. You see the valley, mountains over here, and quite a view. I mean, the clouds are just amazing. Let me zoom out a bit. Yeah, there we go. Really neat. So there's a little church up here. So I got about 3 more miles, something like that. 2-3 miles. Get to the bottom. A long day. I'm on a rather nasty stretch of road, sort of a highway here. But you can see that they had to blow through the Roman aqueduct to put the highway in. Which is sad, but, you know, people do live here. You know, it's not a museum. It's too bad. But I'm trying to get a view of the aqueduct. I don't think I can really get up. Well, I'm not gonna even bother. I'm tired. I don't want to like spend a lot of time trying to get on it. Pretty cool though. I mean, it's a fully intact. It was, I guess, fully intact. Pretty cool. Then over here, my favorite trees. These are my new favorite trees. So that's my first good view of Coimbra. Let's zoom in a little bit. So I'm going to be going down the hill here. There's a convent of Santa Clara. And I think this park, I don't know if it's this park. There's a story of Doña Inés, who is a Galician noblewoman who became enamored of the son of the Prince of Portugal, of the King of Portugal. And anyway, the king, they were lovers, and the king, you know, the prince wasn't listening to the king, so the king killed the Doña Inez, and then later when the prince becomes king, I think it was Dom Denis was the king who killed Inez. Anyway, so then Inez gets when the prince becomes a king, he exhumes her body, and puts her on the throne, and makes all the courtiers and all of his retinue kiss her decaying dead hand, which is pretty, gothically brilliant in a lot of ways. I mean, it's sad, but it's gothically brilliant. That is that's the mountain, Star Mountain, something Estrella. That's the big mountain up there, which is like, this is all a watershed coming from up there. All these rivers, this river here, the Medano River, comes from up in the mountains up there. And so here is a beautiful medieval church with very thick walls and the very interesting little pyramids with a globe on top of that church there. And this area is where I guess Saint Isabel was from, but this is the convent of Santa Clara. Beautiful. I'll zoom in a little bit. Yeah, sadly, I'm not going to get too much of a chance to explore Coimbra. That'd be a great building to look through. Crossing over Mondego, Coimbra. Here. It's just, honestly, man, there's one star above a crescent moon. You can't even see the star. There's the moon. Yeah, you can see the star there. That's a wide angle to somewhere too. And there's Coimbra up there. That's a really beautiful view up there. The street light wasn't there. There's a river. Coimbra.